person behind, and he's 17 miles behind.
And then after that, you're just going to get a really, really beautiful climb out about a 6 mile. The sun will be rising up, and you're just going to be juiced up, feeling so good. And then you're going to win the national championship.
I was never supposed to be a real athlete. This wasn't my path. I've tried my hand at every discipline of bikes. And at every attempt, I was just mid-pack Jack. But over the last 2 years of filming Impossible Route projects, I was slowly dragged into the deep waters of athleticism. I developed skills I never thought I was capable of. I just needed to find a sport where I could point these newfound skills towards. I needed something that would scare most athletes. Something that would take more than just physical abilities. Something that pits the mental strength against physical endurance. I needed to find the fringe of the sport where no sane person wants to venture. I found ultra distance. I found my home. And it's time to show what I am capable of.
Hello and welcome to the 2022 Ultra Distance National Championships. We are here in beautiful Reno, Nevada at the start of the Silver State 508. We are ready to launch our racers, ready to complete a 508-mile course with over 21,000 feet of climbing along the way. The race has many classes, so getting things underway, we saw self-supported 2-man, 4-man, fixed gear categories, and even thinking about doing some of these unsupported categories are mind-blowing out here. 5 a.m. on Friday as we are underway here. 508 miles of the Silver State of Nevada will be our stadium as our riders hit out with authority for what's going to be a monster day.
Shane is our crew chief for this one. He has raced this before. He has the second fastest time on this course. He knows it well. Nikki's crewed this how many times?
5. This
Five.
will be 5th one.
Right? And then Paige was there for us last time. What's really neat is that my wife is going to be on this with me. I'm really excited for her to be along. How many minutes, crew chief, till start?
8.
Okay. Okay, so the course is an out and back. The total distance, 508 miles, whatever that is in kilometers, 800 something.
817, yeah.
Also, there's 24,000 feet of climbing, which doesn't really, that sounds like a lot, but it's really not over 508 miles.
Over that length, yeah.
You essentially start with a 45-minute climb, and you finish with a 45-minute climb. You go out about 150 miles, and then you climb up to 7,000 to 8,000 feet of elevation. So you're at elevation for about 200 miles of the race. All right, we're 17 miles in. Many miles to go. Because it's I would say it's open category, you actually can bring as many bikes as you want. And so you have a follow crew. We had a road bike for climbing, and then we had a TT bike for the flats, because you're mostly on the TT bike, but you can bike swap. Then we had a backup bike. If a bike explodes into flames, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's not that big of a deal. Then also it's just about going as fast as you can. So you don't have to carry all this stuff on you. Your nutrition can be whatever you want it to be. There was no doubt in my mind that I wouldn't win, which is unlike anything else I've ever done.
Wait, you were sure you were gonna win?
100%.
Wow.
Like 100%. And so because everything that I had done leading up to this gave me so much confidence, 24 to 30 hours, not a big deal, right? Like I've done that before. I've done that multiple times. I know what to expect with my body.
Out on course, we're going to pick up the top three of the 2022 Ultra Distance Nationals, and already they seem to be establishing a pecking order out here amongst themselves. Currently sitting third on the road is a man who many people predict to be on your short list for the podium, BJ Aimberg. Very, very strong rider, past finisher of Race Across America. Look for him to be strong in the second half of the race. Second out on road here is certainly one of the big favorites for the win. No doubt about it. This man is an absolute monster. This is Mark Holding that we've got here. Mark has been second at this race already in the past. He's focused on this event. He is here for nothing but the win. Anything less is going to be a major disappointment. So we'll have a big focus on Mark out here today. And then we take a look at the new Danger Man out here. This is a rider that's certainly looking to take the ultra racing scene by storm. He's first out on the road as well, so he's already making a statement here. He's here to have his cake and eat it too. As of right now, he seems to be on a bit of a death march with this pace. He has hit out hard, as they say. An army marches on its stomach. Well, I hope that he is well prepared, as this is a bold start. Or will he explode? Will we see a mushroom cloud going up outside of Reno and put a DNF up on the board? We'll find out. It's going to be the story that we're following along with out here today.
Tyler's crushing it. He's currently in first place. The second place guy was just staying like 50 feet behind him, not drafting, but just like holding him. And I kind of thought, like, dude, that's a super smart strategy, because all he's got to do is hang on, and then once he blows up, he'll still have second place. You can't draft, so he's not drafting.
So parts and equipment and aerodynamics is so important, because again, over 508 miles, if your jersey is slightly unzipped, that could cost you 2 minutes.
Right.
If you don't know anything about time trialing, you know, there's this how aero can you get your body, but also how comfortable are you to apply power. So like,
of course,
let's say you could get your back totally flat, put your face on the bars, but you can only do 100 watts because it's so uncomfortable. And this being a 25 to 30 hour race, like, comfort is a big deal.
Welcome back to the 2022 Ultra Distance National Championships. 6 hours, 130 miles in. We're going to pick up things with Tyler. Still holding on the lead, but barely. Mark Holding has been playing a sneaky game, sitting 2 minutes off of his wheel, matching his pace the whole time. Tyler, more of a climber. That quick bike swap, we're going to see that happening a few times out there. So Tyler put in a massive effort there to try to extend this gap, really put this one into a different zip code here. Everyone is thinking the same thing, though. There's no way that Tyler can hold this pace.
Last we checked, he had a 12-minute gap on Mark. We're waiting here. My guess is that 12-minute gap's probably going to turn to 20 or 30 on this climb, because Tyler's a much stronger climber.
where I was feeling like death like 20 miles ago. Didn't want to ride anymore. Everything was hurting. Felt like I was cracking. And then we swapped to the road bike, and dude, your boy's got a new pair of legs.
He got in the mountains. He said his legs weren't super bomb before that, but they were feeling good once he got on his climb bike, and I kind of knew that was going to happen.
Oh, you're killing me.
Bit of trouble, but
Okay. You need to like unburn a match. Now's the time.
okay.
So the two other guys that were like my main competition, one guy who had done RAM before, Race Across America, so like an 8-day thing. Also this other guy who was just really, really strong. Like this is all he was focusing on. But these two guys behind me, they had me as like a rabbit.
Right.
So they could pace based on me. I couldn't really pace based on them. And so at the turnaround halfway, I think I only had like 15 minutes on second and third, which sounds like a crazy gap, like in a road race or a 15-minute gap, but it's really not, because it if there's any point which you have to stop, bike swaps go wrong, whatever, something, you have an issue. I was like, okay, I actually would have expected I would have been way further ahead for how hard I was going.
We pick back up with the race at the halfway mark in Eureka, Nevada here. Our leader, still the newcomer to ultra racing, Tyler Pierce. This is his first time off the bike in 13 hours. 13 hours, and looks like he's paying the price, man. You go big, and this could be where you end up right now. In ultra racing, things can change in a hurry out there, but certainly an impressive job by Tyler Pierce here. The crews in ultra distance play a massive, massive role. It's psychological. It gets ugly out there at times, and these crews are really keeping these riders together, and that's it looks like exactly what the Tyler's crew is doing out here for the vegan cyclist, as they're not new to this, that's for sure. Husband and wife, Shane and Nikki, they've been through it all. There is no doubt about it. They've won this race. Paige, the team's nurse, is an accomplished ultra racer herself.
bike, and I know that that's going to light him up. I'm thinking when we switch to climb bike, we'll get him food and all that good stuff. We'll switch lights. I don't really know, but Tyler's spirits look super up. He's crushing it. He's like doing hand signals where he's like all pumped up, and he's going really, really fast.
9-mile climb. It's so weird, dude. I was looking forward to this so much. Like a 9-mile climb at mile 313, and I'm stoked about it.
Drew White said, "You've got this, Tyler. Spin those damn pedals because that's what they were made for." All caps lock. One said, get it, dude, you're a machine rooting for you. Danny Boy said, way to go, Tyler and crew, keep her going one pedal stroke closer.
You're so close to the end, and then after that, you're just gonna get a really, really beautiful climb out about a 6 mile. The sun will be rising up, and then you're gonna win the national championship.
As we see at the 2022 Ultra Distance National Championships is rolling through the night here. This is where you find out how bad you want it. Coming into the event as a favorite to win, now Mark actually has lost ground on first place, is trying to match the pace of Tyler. So if this is any indication of Tyler's soon-to-come demise, what we're looking at is this is going to be really, really challenging now. We're finding out how deep they are willing to dig to become a national champion.
The big part of this is your gut health. How can you turn over enough calories to sustain a high level output? This is about 18 hours in. I could not fit any more in my stomach. It was full. And once your digestive system shuts down, which is a very common thing with ultra athletes. Have you ever eaten 15,000 calories in a 24-hour period? Do you eat at 3 a.m? No. Right? These are things like your stomach actually creates, breakdown enzymes and has this circadian rhythm to your digestive system based on the time of day. And so when you're going into 2, 3, 4 in the morning, your stomach is used to having nothing in it or chilling. And then you're cramming food in it digestive, bitch.
So we catch up with the overall leader. This is Tyler himself, the vegan cyclist. This is 20 hours, 370 miles in. You look at Tyler, he's been throwing up on the side of this bike. He's been in bad shape for a while. And now you start to wonder, you have to pay the price. Mark has fallen off the pace as well. It's gotten ragged out here. BJ, however, we talked about pacing. Now he's starting to pick up the steam.
I had been so confident going into this race and during the race that not at one point did I ever consider that I wasn't going to finish, that I wasn't going to win. And so as I lie here in the dirt around 5 a.m, not able to move, not able to eat, everything falling apart, all I could think about was the Strava post that I was going to have to make. What am I going to title this? Failed again? Another failure? Oops, couldn't make it? In my weakened state, the negative mindset was extremely strong. My internal own dialogue saying, why did you even think you could be a national champion? This isn't you. You're not an athlete. I kept thinking about all the people that supported me and how much I was going to let them down. But I've been in this place before, and I know that those negative thoughts aren't my thoughts. Those are just survival techniques to keep you alive when you're pushing your body to the absolute limit. I don't have to listen to that. But I almost did. I almost caved in. I almost got in that warm, cozy, wonderful van and just went to sleep. But the technique that I use is to just get up. Move your body. Don't overthink it. Don't have the conversation with yourself. Just move your body. Throw the leg over the bike and keep moving. I know that my mindset will change. I know my body will come back. I just have to break through this wall. So the thing I just kept reciting to myself in my head was that I was going to get to post the title of my Strava, 2022 Ultra Distance National Champion. I kept repeating that over and over and over, and I kept imagining me writing out that title and posting it to Strava. I know that sounds dumb, but that is what got me back on the bike and moving forward. I was going to be a national champion.
We are now into the final leg and the last major obstacle for the riders. It's known as Geiger grade, the worst possible way to end a 508-mile race. It pitches up to 20%. Tyler is in the right place at the right time. However, he's at the front of this race on the climb, but this is certainly his forte as he starts to extending his lead, and that's amazing now. The Stars and Stripes jersey is what this is all about, with just one more climb to go. There's that descent down into town, and he can call himself the national champion.
Nice ride. Good job.
Here's what's really cool about supported ultras like this, is that there is this camaraderie and experience between the whole crew and the rider, and like the crew is more important than the rider. The rider just gets to play bikes. But the whole crew, there's so much that goes on into trying to make the person fast. And that's what's actually, it's like really a neat discipline of cycling, because like, okay, in most, you know, bike races, it's just the person. Maybe there's a team aspect like lead outs. But when you've got 4 or 5 people racing in an ultra, their crew are like racing each other. And it's so important that you have a well-oiled and dialed crew. There's so many tactics that can be used with a good crew. Riding 508 miles through the night, like 30 hours, I know it kind of doesn't sound like super fun, but it's actually a really rewarding experience when you have the crew around you. I got to bring my son, Bubbies, telling Kristen that, you know, I get to do all these like amazing adventures and see these amazing things, and she's never really there with me because she's watching the kids, or, you know, it's just far away or whatever. And so this was something that like I really wanted her to be a part of. And did you have a good time?
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, that was a lot. I am gonna go sleep.
So you end up winning it. And man, you're now the national champion. Like, you're the USA national champion. And you started your talk with, I was never an athlete, but here you are, man, the national champion. That has to mean something very deep to you.
Man, it's just changed how I feel about myself. Like that I have found this athletic endeavor in which I excel at. Once I got the jersey and I put it on and I rode it for the first time, something changed. And
You
it was
felt
like,
something, I know.
It's palpable. Like it was a feeling that was measurable. It means so much. And it honestly gives me this like superpower. When I wear that jersey, I feel invincible.